Just really excited to be a part of this tournament from the beginning, and then have the opportunity to win 3 games and make our way to New York City, homecoming for about quite a few guys, staff and team, in a lot of ways. So just thrilled to be a part of it and have a great opportunity against Texas A&M tomorrow night.
Questions on the floor? Colton, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Great. How are you doing?
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Can you just talk about kind of what you guys have been up to in New York City and kind of giving the guys a good experience here?
We're trying to balance between getting ready for a game and trying to enjoy part of the New York City experience. So we've limited to, we had a rooftop dinner kind of overlooking the city. It was pretty neat for our guys, and I felt safe as a coach. They weren't running around the streets. But got to see a little experience that. And then we got to go to the Brooklyn Nets game last night, which was cool. When Kyrie's first came back, and we practiced. And then we're staying in Midtown or Times Square, so there's obviously little opportunities to go to Central Park on their own or do some exploring. Not too big of windows, but you get a feel of just the vibrance of the city, the people, the action, the activity, quite a bit different than Pullman.
Yeah, I saw the photos of the Nets game. How did kind of those tickets, and it looked like you guys were up in your own little section. How'd that kind of come to be?
I have no idea. You talked to Director of Basketball Operations, Anthony Lorenzo, and Compliance, Brad Corbin. Sent all those questions. We're all above board, but it was I don't know, but it was just one of those things that really thankful of my staff, because it's not something I want to think about. We saw they're playing, and we have some people there, like Joey Harris, is a family friend, but Joey didn't even answer my text. So I don't know. Anthony put it together, and we're just fortunate to have that. And it's just a big time deal for our guys.
Have you gotten a good sense so far, just kind of this whole experience and how rewarding it's been for the players just the past couple of days and advancing this far?
Yeah, I think it's they've stayed in the zone though, as far as I think this whole tournament. A lot of it's attributed to Mike. I just think his leadership. I think his calm demeanor. Like we really want to play well. He's playing for trying to win a championship. We all are, but it's like him being his last go round. Kind of keeping everyone together. I could see where your younger guys will really get excited, very excitable being here. But I think we kept even keel. Going to look back. We'll see. Want to compete, and you want to look back and see what a great experience is, and try to stay in that moment.
So far, of course, you guys have outplayed everyone in this thing and won pretty handily. Does that surprise you a little bit? Just kind of how sort of one-sided for stretches these games in this NIT have been for you guys so far?
A little bit. I mean, I think we're more than capable, but we've been a little bit that team this year. When we've been good, we've been really good, and we've had some droughts and some spots where either because of COVID or injuries, we haven't been at our best. I think we're 14-3 when we have a full roster. Does that sound right? So. But those things happen every year and you can't explain it, but I think we're pretty healthy right now. That helps a lot, especially having depth this late in the season, playing 8-9 guys quite a bit in a tournament setting that gives you a little bit of an advantage.
With A&M, I was kind of looking at, it seems like good defensive team. I guess what would you say kind of are your guys' key matchups in this one?
Oh, it's system versus system. I couldn't define what our system is, but I know theirs is pressure defense. They're going to blitz. They're just play really hard, and they got a huge chip on their shoulder. They feel like they deserve to be in the NCAA tournament, and they're playing with the edge to prove everyone that the committee was wrong, and they've been playing really well too. So we're gonna have to hang on to our guts, and our toughness will be. We'll see how tough we are, because this is one of the tougher teams we'll play.
Could you compare your team to theirs? Are you guys pretty similar in some facets?
I think we're different. I think we're both good defensively. But just we do it differently. I think theirs is they're smaller, stronger, more athletic. They're kind of undersized, but they're like be like at times they'll have a lineup that look like having 5 TJ Bombas out there, and that's pretty accurate. So they can switch things, they can blitz, they get in rotations, but they can cover up. They're trying to speed you up, where we're more play straight up and make it hard for you to finish at the rim and make it hard for you to get threes. But they're similar to that, just different styles.
I think they're 10-1 in their last 11. After an 8-game losing streak, I don't know how much you've seen or kind of could compare how they were playing during the losing streak and how they're playing now. But what does it seem to be the difference for them between those two streaks?
I didn't go that far back. The most recent one is, I don't know. I just know I've known Buzz Williams for a long time, and he's a motivator. He's toughness, got some grit, and I just assume he just kept coaching them, and he powered through a tough stretch, and really impressive that he's won 10 out of 11. I didn't realize there's that many, and to get them where they were playing their best ball right now. And we're kind of similar that way. We had a little rough patch where we lost 5 in a row in league with a little tough scheduling, and we were able to keep it together, and it would have been easy to fold and just kind of let the season run out. But our guys wanted to keep it going and gear up to play their best basketball this time of year.
I got to ask, what's kind of been the reaction from guys like, Bamba and Phelps, the real New York guys coming back here?
They're excited, but neither one of them, they're both good poker players. They wouldn't show their hand, but without a doubt, it started from when we got admitted. We did really got excited, gave us a little motivation. Not only them, we got Steve Frankowski and his graduate manager, and Anthony Lorenzo and John Andrzejek and myself and my wife. And so there's a lot of people that in the New Jersey, New York area. So I know that I'm paying a lot of money for the extra tickets. So a lot of people asking, so that's a good sign. But it's been, like I said, this tournament in general, just get to New York's cool. And then we have some people, obviously like Derek, who's a New York City legend, Christ the King High School, University of North Carolina. This is a big deal for him, for all his friends and family too.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to ask that as well. Obviously you're from the East and played in New York and whatnot. And I was wondering, do you consider yourself a West Coast guy at this point?
Truthfully, I consider myself a Texan. No one believes that. I grew up there, born and raised, like all people from Texas. We'll claim it till we die. But I'd probably consider myself, my wife's from out west, and I'm probably going to end up staying out west, I'd imagine. So, yeah, I would kind of consider myself a bi-coastal Texan that prefers the West Coast.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Austin Getz, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Just wanted to ask, the Pac-12 affords you guys the opportunity to play in some really cool venues, but was just wondering how cool or surreal or any words come to mind of when you guys will step out there at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to our team before practice today about how, as a staff, you're worried about, hey, guys are going to be in this moment and try to play within the team, but there's going to be some nervousness and excitement. And the NBA guys don't make it easy. They talk about the world's most famous arena and, Kobe had 60 or whatever. There are all kinds of great games. So you got to talk them off that ledge. And I'm sure Buzz Williams is doing the same, but I haven't worn a suit in 2 years, but I'm breaking one out for tonight or for tomorrow night. So I want to pay homage to the Mecca. So we're all kind of excited.
That's great. And then kind of my other question was, just kind of on a broad, large scale conversation, what does a run like this mean to a program, both in the immediate, for these guys, but also down the road?
I think it's really solidifies our program in a lot of ways. We've talked about like being a postseason team every year, being able to play in March, and our staff, we've had good success in March, and you got to train yourself mentally like, hey, we're giving up spring break. The season doesn't end until April. So I think all those things, then to advance and win, those are just things you put in your hip pocket as a coach and as players. And, when you've been there before, what it's one and done situation, and there's a lot of distractions, and to be able to persevere and win just means a lot. And I think obviously it should be a springboard for us. It'll create a the expectations will be higher, which is good. You want to be able to play with those. And we played with some high expectations this year. And, some people say we didn't live up to it, but we didn't have anything to fall back on. It's like not like we'd been a postseason team or we'd finished in the top half of the Pac-12 before. So we hit a lot of landmarks this year that hopefully, our program, our people create an expectation for ourselves.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Anything else, Brenna? You got any questions? Brenna, go ahead.
Can you hear me? I have my headphones on, so I just want to make sure. Cool.
Yep, you're good to go.
All right. Kyle, just you've mentioned being able to play with a full roster now. Just what do you think that unlocks in your team that you weren't able to unlock previously?
I just think it gives us better depth, especially inside, because without Deshaun, we didn't have that bulk, and he's a pretty important part to our defensive rebounding, our defense, and also he gives us a low post scoring threat. So that stretch where we missed him, he had a lot, and we were a little thinner than we'd like to be. We were worried about if we had lost any of those guys to injury, and it happened, so we weren't as good as we could be. So the depth also helps, and especially when you're trying to be. We play a lot of man-to-man. You have to be fresh. You got to keep guys out of foul trouble, et cetera. So I think that's been the biggest thing: the depth and getting Deshaun, Muhammad, and FA all together because they're still young guys, and having that depth and be able to play off each other really has helped us.
Is there anything you have to do to adjust for the time change and stuff with the start of this game?
I think it's good for us. The 9:30. Hopefully, we stayed on the West Coast time. We've kind of tried to keep it there. Let them sleep in a little bit. Eventually, they'll adjust. But I think that's better than having the noon tip off on the west to east. Those are almost impossible to overcome. But I think we're okay with the 9:30.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Colton, go ahead.
Yeah, just one more. Kind of besides health, are there some other areas over the past, 3 weeks in which you've been able to measure a pretty significant uptick, maybe in terms of analytics even?
Not so much analytically. This is the part that chemistry is important. And I talked about our leadership dynamics. Hard to get a fifth-year guy that's going to be your lead that's new to the program, but it happened. And when it took a while, once it happened, we kind of got hit with COVID if we could have got through it. And Mike's just much more comfortable and a lot of playing off. That's a pretty important position. Be able to play off him it makes a difference. He's kind of exerted himself. And when you're stabilized there, you can be as good as you can be. So, we had a long stretch of COVID kind of when it would have been a nice time, but you got to go through that. Like Mike down in LA didn't play great, but that can happen, kind of go through those hurdles. So I think he's really settled, secure. Our group's good. And when he's playing really well, we have a chance to beat anybody.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, Cole.
Last one, Austin, go ahead.
Just one more for you, Coach. What did it mean for your guys to kind of get the send-off from the football team and that whole scene in Pullman?
It's just nice. It's very it was surprising a little bit. I didn't know what I expected and then saw it when I got there to the bus, and just how Pat prides the people in Pullman really pulling together our athletic departments, crossing over and getting to know each other. It's like I said, it's like the adults are like in a college campus too. We're all revolve around each other. So it was neat to see the support. And I think it all helps when women's basketball does well or football does well, it helps everybody. So it was nice to see.